Dave Gardy here live on the floor of Von Fall in Boston at the Boston Convention and Expo Center. And with me is Mr. Joe Hildebrand, who's the Chief Technology Officer for Jabber, a company that's attracted a lot of attention here at the show. Joe, Jabber, great name for a company. Give us an overview perspective. What does Jabber do?
Sure, absolutely. Well, we started out as a company providing services and support around an open source product that had been out there in the world, and that did instant messaging and presence. And then what we found was our first several customers wanted very high scale, high availability, and that sort of thing. So we ended up writing our own commercial products that implemented the same wire protocols, the same standards.
Okay, I see.
And then ended up having to go ahead and standardize those protocols so that other people could make use of them as well.
Interesting.
And now what we do is we sell this commercial product that provides messaging and presence services for our customers, and they might install it inside their enterprise behind a firewall integrated with their directory servers. They might install it at a service provider who wants to offer presence and messaging services to their customers. Mm-hmm. Or they might install it as a part of another solution that wants to have presence and messaging baked into it.
I see.
People that want to have presence as a key enabler for their application.
Okay. In your space, I hear a lot of this extended enhanced thing. What does that matter?
So extended enhanced presence are... what we've started to see is that there's the starting point of, is my endpoint alive? Am I online? Am I away from my desk? Am I there or not? And that's a good starting point for presence information. Yeah. But there's a lot of other information about you that's interesting that your friends, that the people that you've allowed to see your information might want to know, or that you might want to share with them.
I
like,
see.
What's my geographic location? I'm on the floor at Von. It might be as sort of fuzzy as that, or it might be the latitude and longitude of here's where I'm sitting right now, with some degree of specificity. Yeah. And of course, I might want to share different pieces of that information with different groups of people that I'm contacted with. It might also be, if we're talking about more of the consumer use case, it might be what song is playing in my MP3 player, what's my current mood. What did I have for lunch? Those sorts of things are all interesting things that are that surround my identity and that are changing over time that you want to get notified when they change,
right?
So that you can take action on them or do interesting things or decide whether you're going to contact me now.
I see.
If you can tell that I've had lunch recently and that I've been in the same place for a few minutes and not moving around, well, then maybe now's a good time to contact you and ask me that sort of strange question that you've been waiting until I was in a better mood to be able to interrupt me.
I see. That's valuable. The other facet of this is the multi-protocol element. Why is that critical?
Well, we've seen a lot of, there's been a lot of talk about standards battles and that sort of thing, and I think that if you look at, there's some main standards, standard protocols that are being used in this area. XMPP is one that's been used a lot. It's easy to get up and running with. It's very interoperable, and we've seen people like Google Talk pick that up and start to build interesting services off of it. In the carrier ISP service provider space, we've seen a lot of interest in SIP and Simple as building blocks for these things. And in the past, in the sort of mobile space, we've seen some interest in IMPS, Wireless Village sorts of protocols for doing messaging and presence. From our perspective, our customers shouldn't have to make decisions about which protocol to use. They're interested in building a service, building up a community, getting users interested, potentially then building some service that they charge for on top of it. They're not in the business of needing to worry about what protocol. And so what we've been doing is making sure that you can access our system using whichever one of these protocols that you want. If you want to hook in an XMPP device and a SIP device and an IMPS device that are all attached to the same person, we'll aggregate all that presence together so that whoever's subscribing to your presence can see it from whichever device you're currently on.
What is presence difference? I hear that term too.
Well, so we've been talking about, we were at this panel yesterday here at Von talking about how does presence differentiate a service, or why would I need presence as a part of the applications that I'm building? And we've seen a lot of really interesting people using our technology, building things that no one's built before that begin to tie people together, or begin to tie people together with services or applications and people together. And if you've got presence as a building block for these applications, there's all kinds of new opportunities that open up. Things where applications are reaching out to users. They're trying to find who's the most available person to solve this problem for me right now. How do I find the person who's within this geographic location that can respond to a particular thing, from first responder kind of thing. So being able to bake that presence information into the other applications becomes very interesting. Now, our perspective on that is that you don't go out and buy, you don't go out and build your own database server. You don't go out and build your own operating system, et cetera. So building a presence server that scales to millions of users, that implements multiple protocols, that's extensible in all kinds of different directions, is really hard. And we've done all of that work, and so we think our customers should be able to take advantage of that, plug it in, and go ahead and focus on their much more interesting problem that they're working on.
And you addressed that in your session that you did, which you have also on the Von TV, that will be covered. Make sure you get Joe's session there, because he goes in a little more detail on that. What is it that you can do for the audience in summary that they can't do for themselves, if you had to summarize it?
So we can get you up and running very quickly with proven technology that's been deployed in a lot of different places, that has all the security stuff done, that has all the scalability stuff done, that has all the management stuff done, can plug into your existing infrastructure, and you can be up and running and building cool applications on top of it in no time.
That's a pretty good summary, man. You do that very well and attracting a lot of attention. Joe Hildebrand, Chief Technology Officer for Jabber Incorporated out of Denver, Colorado. You can go to www.jabber.com. Thanks for joining us today. And again, make sure you pick up his other session. It's good. Dave Gardy here live on the floor of Von Fall, the Boston Convention and Expo Center for Von TV. Stay tuned for more.